Hi everyone, welcome back to Black Girl Who Manifests. If you are new to this channel, my name is Sasha, and here we talk about African spirituality, manifestation, and the decolonization of spiritual systems and religion. So it's been a really long time, for me anyway, that I've posted a video, and I think I'm sorry. It's been a really busy with life and everything going on. And I have something in the works, also that I will tell you guys more about towards the end of this video. So please make sure you stay till the end. I'm very excited about that. So when you hear the word numerology, what pops up in your mind? For many people today, it's like repeating digits, 1111, 222, 333, and so on. They're synced with the patterns we're told that carry spiritual significance or angel messages from the universe. I used to believe that too, that mirrored numbers were direct messages from some universal force. But over time, though, going back to that cultural awakening I've had, I came to see things a bit differently. I still feel that seeing the same numbers during different periods can be messages, yes, perhaps from ancestors, not necessarily from the universe. And there is that distinction. Why? Because numerology isn't universal, it's cultural. So just like spirituality, right? Numerological systems grow out of particular belief systems and also historical context. So take this example. In Western numerology, 666 is considered the number of the devil, right? The demonic number. Yet in Chinese numerology, the number 666 is usually associated with positive qualities like happiness, luck, and so on. So that's different. Right? And while Western numerology often traces its roots to Pythagoras, which was the Greek philosopher and mathematician said to have lived in antiquity, very little is actually known about his life. So in fact, debates are still being held on whether he himself discovered the Pythagorean theorem. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Western numerology originates from Pythagoras' teachings, but also later esoteric systems like the Kabbalah and various other Western mystical esoteric traditions. And in African numerology, across the board, it has usually older and different roots, and it can be traced to ancient Egyptian cosmology, ancestral rituals, and divination systems like Ifá, the Yoruba spiritual science, that interprets numerical combinations as living messages from the divine. Furthermore, in many African traditions, numbers are not abstract symbols, but expressions of vital force, like spiritual energies that structure life, destiny, rhythm, and so on. So just imagine this. Even within African spirituality, numbers don't carry the same meaning across all traditions. So that realization taught me my first major lesson, that I had to unlearn the Western ideas of numerology I had absorbed and reconnect with an African system that resonated with my spirit and lineage. So what brought me the greatest joy was discovering that despite the diversity of meanings across African spiritual systems, one principle remained constant: proactivity. So unlike what we've seen in Western numerology, which often emphasizes passively noticing synchronicities like mirrored numbers, angel numbers, African numerology typically is active. So it doesn't teach us to wait for signs. It invites us to take action in a numerical order, because numbers are seen as living dynamic forces that must be consciously activated to fulfill their sacred purpose. And for me, realizing that I didn't need to wait for a number to appear or for a license plate, for example, to find a direction in life, that I could instead invoke and work with numbers in my daily rituals to manifest the outcomes that I desired. And that was, to me, so empowering. So now that we understand that numerology is not universal, let's go deep. Let's go deeper into African numerology and how we can apply it in our daily lives. So across the continent, like I said, the Yoruba of West Africa to the Dogon of Mali, Congo, Central Africa, to the ancient teachings of Kemet in the Nile Valley, numbers carry profound cosmological meaning. They are sacred codes woven into the fabric of creation. They appear in creation stories such as the Ogdode of Hermopolis or the Ennead of Heliopolis, where each number reflects divine principles that govern existence. They manifest in divination systems like Ifá, where the Odu are revealed through combinations of sacred binary numbers, offering insight into destiny and alignment with the spiritual order. They are typically invoked in rituals and chants where the repetition of specific numbers generates spiritual momentum, amplifying intention and invoking balance between the seen and unseen worlds. They even guide initiation systems and oral traditions, and they teach discipline, harmony, the cyclical nature of life, and reminding us that every number reflects a stage of growth and a stage of transformation. So when we talk about African numerology, we're not talking about something so abstract or symbolic in a detached way. We're talking about a living language of the cosmos, a sacred system, if you will, that mirrors how energy moves, how energy creates and transforms within us and around us. So let me just give you a little glimpse, because the depth of this subject can't possibly be captured in one video, but let's explore the meaning of numbers through the lens of the Heliopolitan cosmological system of ancient Kemet. So number 1 means unity, the number of origin. It represents the supreme source, Atum-Ra, the self-generated creator who rose from the primordial waters of Nun. 1 embodies the divine spark within all of us, the oneness of spirit and matter, the beginning of all things. Number 2 represents duality and balance. 2 reveals the dance between opposites. Enlightenment doesn't come from destroying the dualities, but from harmonizing them. So we have life and death. We have feminine, masculine, order, chaos. Balance is divine, you guys, not destructive or about establishing dominion over others. Then number 3, my favorite, manifestation. So when polarities unite, they give birth to creation. Right? So 3 is movement. 3 is expression and action, the outward projection of divine intention. It's the unseen intention made visible, essentially. Number 4 is stability. So if 3 expands, right, 4 grounds. It represents the foundation, the 4 natural elements, the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 limbs on the body, and the first 4 deities who emanate from Atum-Ra. So we have Shu, Tefnut, Geb, and Nut. So 4 teaches structure and order. 5 is collective strength. 5 reminds us of power through unity. The 5 fingers, right? Forming a fist, a single fist. It embodies the African principle of Ubuntu. You've probably heard of that. I am because we are. It's the energy of cooperation, of healing, and shared strength. And the journey continues through the sacred sequence up to 9. Which symbolizes spiritual fulfillment, spiritual authority, and completion. 9 is basically the threshold before rebirth, the point where the soul gathers all it has learned before spiraling back to 1, returning to the source, but just on a higher vibration. For those of us who have studied New Age spirituality, we probably are familiar with the life path numbers as well, and how, they go up to 9. If it goes beyond 9, or if you have a certain birth date, then we have the master numbers. It kind of follows that similar format. So now that you understand African spirituality is a proactive system, here's the final piece of that puzzle. It's through the strength of your voice and action that the power of numbers is activated and used to shape both your spiritual and physical reality. So what does this mean for your daily spiritual practice, right? This is all theory, but how do we implement it? It means that when you work with numbers, you're not merely calculating or interpreting coincidences. You are aligning yourself with forces that have existed since the dawn of creation, ancient energies that respond to rhythm, intention, will, and more specifically, it reminds us that true transformation comes through the consistent practice of African numerology by understanding the meaning of numbers within your ancestral and personal paradigm. And then once you're there, weaving them into a steady rhythm of life. Through affirmations, through rituals, through rhythmic actions, you can cultivate spiritual discipline, you can build momentum and infuse your life with this vitality. So for example, when leading a community project or event, you might call 5, the number 5. You might call 5 ancestors. You could pour a libation in 5 drops and ask for their guidance. So by channeling the energy of those ancestors who in life devoted themselves to service, you activate the power of number 5. So symbolizing that collective strength and unity. At your altar, you could also light a candle, burn some incense, pour a libation, and make a food offering. 4 sacred actions aligned with the 4 cosmic forces: fire, air, water, and earth. You could also chant an ancestral song 4 times, invoking balance and asking your spiritual team for greater stability in your professional life. So each action, when performed consciously, becomes a numerical invocation, a deliberate way of harmonizing your personal energy with cosmic law. So this is the essence of African numerology, you guys. Isn't it nice? Like, it's so proactive. You're not waiting for signs. You are creating them. You're not seeking meaning in random things. You are building meaning through ritual, intention, and the eternal language of numbers. Okay, so if this message spoke to your spirit, my husband and I have written a book on this topic, and we recommend you reading it. So our book right here, The Introduction to Kemetic Cosmogony and Ancestral Veneration, Altars, Offerings, and Sacred Arrangement. This book dives even deeper into the heart of African spirituality, from numerology and how to build a personal altar to ancestral wisdom and cultural heritage. This book will journey you back to our roots, to the science of the soul. And let this book guide you to rediscover the sacred knowledge that's inside of you and reconnect with the rhythm of Africa, where spirituality is lived, not just dogmatically followed. So please check that out. I will put the link to the Amazon page where you guys can go ahead and buy that. It's my first book. I'm so excited, a little bit nervous, excited, but this is definitely continuing the journey of my purpose and my destiny. And I'm just so excited to share that with you all. Please like, comment, and subscribe if this resonated with you or if you learned something new. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.